Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Heart Radio show with Dan and Ann. We're coming to you tonight live on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. And we have a very exciting guest for you tonight. Her name is Ireland Clark, and she's from Boise, Idaho. And the title of our show is True Consciousness is Overcoming the Ego. Angela, would you introduce our guest tonight?
Sure, Dan. Ireland J. Clark is just 20 years of age and a graduate of Meridian High School. She is a certified beautician in the state of Idaho. She's also a young spiritual pioneer and life coach who inspires others to find their connection with God and in so doing to assist them on identifying their ego structures and letting them go. She shares her inspirational teachings on her YouTube channel, Limitless Lightworker. Welcome, Ireland.
Welcome.
Hello. I'm so happy to be on the show.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Well, anyway, this is my daughter, and we're just so glad to have you on, Ireland. And
Amen.
It's so interesting to me, Ireland, that you're 20 years old and you've been given, such a spiritual gift. Could you just tell us, it's so interesting, how did you get this gift, or how did it find you, this gift of spirituality and just knowing about the spiritual life and how to become spiritual and the ego and all this stuff? How did this come to you?
Yes, I just feel like it is just who I am. I feel like I did come here on a mission to help in this ascension process, and I just found spirituality through opening up to the other side of what we have been shown in society and the way we've been conditioned, and I was able to see past the veil that has been covered upon our eyes and just really be able to resonate with the information because I knew it was the truth. And it was all written when I awoken, because truly the world needs us light workers, which is what I consider myself as. It needs the people on the mission specifically help it with the ascension process to be in alignment with their purpose. So I think it just really sped up for me super quickly because we're needed right now. The Bible prophesies about the 144,000 light workers, and now is the time where they're starting to reincarnate.
Wow. So would you say, Ireland, that you had some darkness in your life that preceded this spiritual journey? Because, sometimes they say you've got to be in the darkness before you can know that there's light. Was there something like that?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. I had extreme programming, extreme negative thoughts and addiction problems, and that's usually what happens to the light workers is because they went from such an elevated way of being into the earth realm where there's a lot of this dense lower energy, and so we just try to push it down and try to go back to that same feeling through drugs and alcohol. So a lot of us do deal with addictions, which I dealt with a big part of my life since age 12.
Man.
Wow. So what is this ego, Ireland? What, if you were to explain to somebody, it's, you said this ego is getting in our way. So what would you
Yes,
tell somebody if they said, Ireland, what is my ego? How is it hindering me? How can, how do I get rid of it or something like that? How would you
yes.
explain to them what it is?
So as real as the ego personality may feel as part of our human identity, so we resonate with the ego thinking it's our personality, but it's truly not who we are. It's a dead energy structure, and the continual use of that ego, the dead energy structure, it depletes all of our multidimensional bodies and life force. So it keeps us from accessing our multidimensional beings, and it depletes our prana, and it's truly getting in the way because it's keeping us from that spiritual force within us, that God eternal force. And so it's really our job to dismantle that ego because it's not who we are. It's been implanted within us.
So, Ireland, what will you just tell the audience what prana is?
Yes, so prana is your life force energy. So you have 72,000 nadis in your body. They crisscross throughout your whole body like energy highway system, and the prana is the traffic on the system. So if there is stale prana in your body and it's not moving, or it could be manipulated through the ego for negative agendas. So we have to make sure that we're in control of that life force energy and that prana, which is dissolving the ego and taking our power back.
Would that be different than like what I call the Holy Spirit? I don't know what you call that, but is it different than that? Or is God life energy, are you thinking it's the same thing?
Yes, it's just becoming one with God, however you resonate with that,
Gotcha.
just being a vessel for that power.
Gotcha.
So Ireland, this ego, like you said, people think they are it. Is it the negative
Right.
part of us, or is it the positive side of us? And I guess I'm trying to say, if we're not our ego, who are we? Who the heck are we?
We are powerful, multidimensional, infinite beings.
Gotcha.
We are everything and anything that exists. We are creation. We are one with God. We are God's sovereign beings. We have just lost who we are. We have came here to remember who we are and dissolve that ego.
How does a person know, Ireland, if something's missing? I know a lot of times in my life, I thought there's something missing. I grew up in Christianity. I grew up being a Christian. I'm still a Christian, and it's like, but I feel like there's something missing. Like I'm not there. Like I'm not quite right yet. And so I know there's another element, beyond my thinking mind. That is a higher consciousness.
Right? I think it's just that feeling that you're not fully connected to who you really are, because if you're constantly thinking of the external, then you're not truly within yourself, which is where the magic happens, is all within you. That's when you really are able to reprogram yourself and align yourself with the power. But if you're constantly in the religion aspect, thinking that everything is outside of you, that is where you're going to feel like you have a disconnect from the truth.
Yeah, I think I might like to talk about that fact that, people tend to always like be praying to an outside God and always fearful that that outside God is not happy with them and they don't feel comfortable with that outside God. Yet, the Bible says that when we're baptized, that the Christians believe when they're baptized that the Holy Spirit comes in and that God is now, growing inside of you. It's beginning with a little seed that's planted on the day of your baptism. So I don't understand how that got lost, that we understand that
Right.
something is growing and is with us and is developing within us, like this temple that's being built, but it's gotten lost.
Right? it's definitely the programming. Everything has been so deceived, just like in the Bible, Jesus says the things that I will do, you'll do and greater. But you ask a Christian if they think that they could be in that same consciousness that Jesus was, and they said that no, he was the chosen one. So there's all this back and forth confusion within the Bible, and people thinking that this power is outside of them, because that's how I believed. I always thought that God was up in the sky and he was angry at me. That's the God that I was programmed into believing, and that's just the result of these programs.
Yeah. It's like you don't talk the language like a regular Christian, but I've talked to you so much, and I totally understand that it is in alignment. You just use different language, different lingo, but I do understand it's really the same thing. And that's another thing Christians fear, is when anyone doesn't use their same lingo, their same wording, then it can't be of God. It's got to be of the devil. You know what I mean? And there's lots of different belief systems like that. I find that there's just straight across, we believe the same, but people cannot accept it unless they hear it exactly in the Christian way. And I think that needs to go too,
Yes, that all of that is going to be shown into the light. It is coming. We are in this process right now where people are going to be awakening to that fake deception of religion and that fake God that they have worshipped. That is not the truth. It's not. It's been so deceived.
Well, in the Jehovah's Witness religion that you guys grew up in, you Ireland. Well, not you, Ireland, because you were only just a year old when your dad got out, I think.
Right.
But at least you know all about it. But one of the things that they go around saying is that religion is, Dan, how do they say it? That world is the world of false religion, of Babylon the Great.
Yep.
Now I'm saying it all wrong, Dan. How does it go again?
World empire of false religion, Babylon the Great.
Yes, and I'm starting to think that the way that they've structured it and twisted it literally is becoming that, And
yes.
It's scary, man. It's scary to think that my religion has turned to world of empire, false religions, Babylon the Great. I hate to say that it's become to that, but I think pretty much it has. For the most part.
It's sad.
Oh, it is. It's disturbing.
And in Ireland, you're talking about here that there's actually some participation that we can do instead of waiting for maybe somebody to come and rescue us. You're saying that we can actually wake up and participate in some of the transformation in ourselves and others. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you have to take self-responsibility. You have to do the work. And you have to be able to know that you are your most powerful healer by connecting to Source and that God force and the God within you, but realizing that God's not just going to do it for you. You have to be able to conspire with yourself and conspire with the universe. So It definitely has to be the work that needs to be done.
All right. Well, Ireland, Angela, we're going to have to take a commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to come back with Ireland Clark right after the commercial break.
And you can learn more about our guest by sending her an email at irelandclark@aol.com or go to our YouTube channel, Limitless Light Worker. You're listening to the Heart to Heart radio show on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. You can learn more about our show by visiting heart2heartradioshow.com and check out our website, prodigaljourneys.com. We'll be right back after the commercial break.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel like I'm stumbling a little bit on my words, but whatever. You're creepy.
I wouldn't talk Ireland right yet.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shaman worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me. simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
All right, we're back. Tonight, our guest is Ireland Clark. Our topic is entitled True Christianity is Overcoming the Ego. You can contact our guest by emailing her at irelandclark@aol.com, or you can check out her YouTube channel, Limitless Lightworker. All right, Ireland, we were in the middle of talking about this transformation that's happening in the world and happening within us. And I wanted to ask you a question. Is it just certain people that wake up at certain times, or are certain people destined to do this work, or are we all going to wake up? It seems like not everybody's waking up.
Right. Well, there are some, especially that are waking up sooner than others, and that's just because they're here to help in the awakening. But at the end of the day, we're all unified as a collective, and we all are going to be awakening. It's just at different times and different levels, but it's all written definitely in the Akashic records where when people are going to wake up. But you definitely see a lot more of the people waking up who are meant to, and there's a lot of master souls coming in right now that are being reincarnated to help in this awakening process as well.
You know, wow. when I think about that last happened was when Jesus died on the cross, you know, and it said that the earth shook and the blood ran, you know, everywhere, and that the earth opened up and all kinds of souls were coming out, and like prophets and stuff, and then they were walking around, and I don't know how long they stayed alive, or even if they died eventually, but we know that happened. That was in the Bible that happened. And God has sent Elijah the prophet. Moses and Elijah talked to Jesus on the mountain before he died to encourage him. So, you know, this is not unbiblical. It sounds weird, but it's already happened before. So
Pete, you're saying
right?
People transporting and stuff like that, coming in and out, up and down Jacob's ladder. Is that what you're saying, Angela?
Well, I no. I mean, I'm just saying that Elijah came back as John the Baptist.
Oh.
Elijah and Moses met with Jesus on the mountaintop and encouraged him. When Jesus died, people came out of the earth that were dead in their graves and started, you know, teaching and doing whatever they did. Jesus came back and talked after he died and taught the people, his you know, the people that he'd been working with for 40 days. He stayed on the earth after he died. He came back and appeared to them. So there's been a lot of coming back, you know, and then he said that he even said that there are some here, he said one day when he was talking, who will not taste death until I come again. So some people are still alive that were there with Jesus' time who are still have never even died. I mean, there's weird stuff going on that we are not as Christians willing to look at or consider, but there's more going on than we can possibly imagine.
I'm glad you brought that out, because it doesn't make what Ireland's saying, you know, so you know, people would think, what are you talking about, these ascended masters coming back? But like you said, it's been happening in Bible times, and it's happening today. And like Ireland said, even more so, we need it. And I was going to ask you the next question, Ireland, like, you know, do we have a choice to wake up or not wake up? And I guess what are the repercussions of these implants, this ego-based programs if we don't do anything.
Yes, so we do have the choice, especially once you're exposed to the truth. At that point, you either fall back asleep or you continue on the path. And that's just when you start facing those aspects of yourself to become whole again. But if you don't and you just let the programs continue on, that's when you're going to have soul damage, soul fragmentation, which is parts of your consciousness leaving, disconnection from yourself, and your life force and body are going to be misdirected, because if you're not in control of your mind and your subconscious, something else will be controlling it, and it will be abused, it'll be used. And the ego, which is truly just like a parasitic entity, will come into people who are in a weak state and a fragile mind, and it will start to control the directions and the energies of the soul. So that is why it's very important that once you understand the truth, that you start doing the effort and the healing within yourself, because you have that power once you understand to fully step into the driver's seat of your body and not let these programs continue on repeat and controlling where your life is going. Since we do create our realities with our mind.
So Arlen, what was the moment where you just started on this little trek? I mean, how did it start, and what caused it, do you think, was the beginning point? I mean, because you were once like in that low place where you were fragmented at one point, right? And yet you something made you want to change. What was it?
Yes. It was truly just, I understood what was going on behind the scenes, like with the negative alien agenda that's been going on for centuries. And I chose to go back asleep because I just didn't want to deal with it. That's when I started drinking. But once I awoken again, if someone actually awoken me, a spiritual teacher came into my life and told me I'm an old soul. And that's when I started resonating and had pretty much like a light bulb moment, connecting consciousness to the truth. And I just realized that I have to take control. I realized that my external is a creation from the internal. It's no longer the external forces that are creating havoc within me. It's the opposite. And it's like, once you know that, you have to take responsibility. You can't just keep being a victim and living in that victimizer programming anymore, because it's just going to come back on you, especially when you know what's best. You're not asleep anymore at that point. It's like you need to start applying it.
Well, Arlen, go ahead, honey.
What I just see is there's two problems. One, Ireland, is, man, most people don't know that the program they're in is a program. And an example is me, 40 years as a Jehovah's Witness. I did not know that was a program. And here I was living in a program. And I was saying everything Jehovah's Witness, like a robot, along with 5 million other people. I don't take blood. I don't salute the flag. I don't do this. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. And one day, I just threw the magazines and I woke up. And I was like, all of a sudden, I saw the box. And then when I looked out at all the other religions, I saw all the other boxes. And so the problem is to watch now all these people walking around in their own individual matrix. And I just wonder, how do they wake up? And I know they got programmed. You mentioned it, but do we just show up as love? How do we help them to see that there's another dimension outside of the dimension they're living in? Most people are living in a different reality. They're living in a reality that this is who I am. I'm a fighter. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm a victim. I'm a whatever. And they don't realize that there's a spiritual dimension beyond that dimension.
Truly, yes. And really the only way you can help others is to unenslave yourself first, so that you can be the light. But also there is a change that's happening on planet Earth. Mother Gaia is switching from the third density, which is duality, separation, fear, anger, all of those low vibrational thoughts and patterns, and moving into higher densities like the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension, where those lower aspects can't hang out. So as the planet is changing, the people that are choosing to stay in the 3D, since we still do have free will, it's going to start getting harder and harder for them to continue, because they'll feel like they're in a pressure cooker, because as the earth is changing frequency, and if they're not going with the flow of the earth, they will start feeling the things that need to be changed very quickly. They will start seeing everything start manifesting very, very fast into their external. And at that point, that's going to push them, I think, along the awakening process. So truly, it's going to happen. People are going to start awakening, and it's happening more and more every year. More and more people are waking up. So we just have to continue doing our own personal healing and just planting seeds in others and hoping that they will awaken when the time is right.
I want to say one thing too, Dan. When you threw those magazines, well, like maybe the day before that is when you saw that lady with her beautiful, gorgeous daughters and this wonderful, clean kept house and very well dressed children, very well mannered. And you're thinking, really? These people are going to be, Jehovah's going to disintegrate them, destroy them any minute, and me, the faithful, really? And here you've been out working in other countries. You come back and you see all you Jehovah's Witnesses in your polyester suits that don't fit and run down cars, and your lives are out of order, and you're thinking, really? Like, this is good news? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to want to hear it when they seem like they have their lives together, and I don't. I don't know. I think God was orchestrating all of that. I really do. He was personally orchestrating so that you would be able to see the craziness of it all. Do you know?
Yes, and that's the thing, Ireland. Like Angela said, I was told by my religion that what I love about what Ireland's saying, Angela, is that she's saying that everyone's getting the opportunity to live and awaken. And a lot of the religions are saying genocide to anybody not like me. Like my religion, like you said, we were taught that those wonderful, probably Christians behind the door, holding up dollar bills, giving us as a charity that didn't want anything, were going to be crushed any day under Jehovah's feet and exterminated and genocided. And like you said, I had a crisis of conscience, and I said, this can't be true. So I love what Ireland's saying about this opportunity to awaken.
Yes. And
so
like she's... Go ahead.
I just want to say, when we come back, Ireland, I just want to ask, has anyone tried to tell us about this before and where we begin? So, all right, we're going to have to take a commercial break, but we'll be right back with Ireland Clark. Our topic tonight is entitled True Consciousness is Overcoming the Ego. You can contact our guest by emailing her at irelandclark@aol.com, or check her out on her YouTube channel, Limitless Lightworker.
And you've been listening to the Heart to Heart radio program with Dan and Ann on the X-Zone Broadcast Network and www.xzbn.net. Our website is heart2heartradioshow.com. We'll be right back after the commercial break.
How would your life change if you could develop the business and personal skills that you need in order to make more money? Do you want to learn how to achieve your big life goals faster? Then go to findhiddenmoney.com and get the Goal for It online course. The course teaches you how you can set and achieve your biggest goals while completely overcoming the roadblocks to your goals so that you can realize your dreams and imagine more success. Go to findhiddenmoney.com.
Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hyde's life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking.
All right, we're back. We've been talking with our guest, Ireland Clark. And Ireland, we're so glad you joined us tonight. We've been discussing true Christianity and overcoming the ego. And we were just talking about the repercussions of these implants. And Ireland, I guess I want to go back a little bit. How did you say that we were programmed? These implants. How did somebody get a program into us? How are we being programmed today?
Yes, it's truly through holographic and through light. So it's the negative alien agenda, which they designed this software, since pretty much our physical bodies are referred to as like computers. So they designed this software to stop the spiritual body activation. So the ego mind identity is a byproduct of this reptilian creation. So if the body is controlled, they can control the direction of the soul. And this soul manipulation is desired because these entities do not have a soul. They are inspirited. So they're not capable of connecting to God through Christos.
Okay. And so how do they connect with us? How is it through like television? Is that the light?
Yes.
Well, okay.
It's through frequencies, it's through chemtrails. They literally will emit these frequencies out to disturb our central nervous system, to throw us in a state of fight or flight. They know exactly how the body works. They will implant themselves through chemically based foods, and they're like parasites within the body. So they can hang out in your brain as well, in the cortex, and it's truly the reptilian mind, and that is what we are ascending out of as we speak.
Yeah, I think a lot of Christians don't want to accept or believe that anything like that is going on in their body, yet sin is running rampant in the Christians, but they won't admit it. And also, too, Ireland, I've been seeing a tremendous amount of people that are just completely disconnected from themselves. They don't know what's really going on.
Oh
They
my
want
God.
They won't admit the truth about things. They're in denial about everything, and it's bad. And I'm freaking out about it. Like, you guys, can't you see? Can't you see what's going on in your life? Can't you see that you're miserable? Can't you admit this, that, the other thing? They're just depressed. They don't know why. It's just a mess. And I'm excited that, that this is actually going to be turning around here. I really do believe it has to. Like you said, you can't keep going on like this,
Yes, it's just so, if you look around at the world, there's so much, darkness, with what's going on, and it's time for the light to come back. It's time for us to be one with God again and be organic and not let this negative agenda continue to disrupt our eternal source beings. We're multidimensional, we're powerful, and we've been living far from the truth for so long, and that's what they do. They keep wiping our memories. They'll go into our dream state and they'll wipe our memories so we don't have any real reality of what has been going on in these timelines. And so we're going through timeline shifts right now, and people are having the choice whether they're going to go in this shift or if they're going to stay in the 3D. But it's going to get to that point where they're going to have to, because it's going to be, everything's going to come to the surface to be healed.
So,
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to be able to be starting to desire to get out of this pain, and we're going to begin to take responsibility, and we're going to start looking at the negativity that we're speaking, saying, living in, the emotions we're not admitting to, the resentments we're holding on to. We're going to be willing because the pain is going to be strong enough. Is that what's going to happen?
Exactly. It'll get so unbearable where you're going to have to change. And that's why you need to be doing the work now and looking at the shadow aspects now and working through it, because if you keep trying to push it down, it's just going to explode even more so.
Well, isn't God smart? God is pretty smart, I have to say,
Yes,
because he knows that we won't change unless it hurts. I mean, that's when change happens. We're willing to do that change, and when things are just bad enough, we'll finally say, "Okay, I've had enough," and we start facing what we
exactly.
got to face, and that's the only way we change. That's the way I see it.
You
It's
know,
Right?
crazy.
yeah, and another aspect of this, I think this is also a special time. Am I right, Ireland, that this is the Aquarian time?
Aquarian age.
Yes. We're in the age of Aquarius, which is the knowing. So we have the information. So Jesus set it up for us so that we would get the knowledge, and he set it up for this ascension timeline in 2012. This is when it all began. That was the end of the Mayan calendar, which Maya emanates from the word illusion. So we've been living in illusion, and now we're awakening, and the veil is lifting.
That's so cool.
We
I mean,
Wow.
have the information now.
so it's there, and now we're beginning to somehow grasp it. It's weird because you hear these cool songs. Like this guy came on American Idol or something like that, and he had these weird sounds that were coming out of him, and it was like he was from another world. And it was as if God was talking through this man, and through the sounds, and through the birds, and the sounds were eerie. I mean, it was like, whoa, it's like from another planet, and you just felt
Yes.
like it was speaking to your soul. And I know that it was. And then these songs are coming out. These what do they call them? Hertz, like 528 hertz. These different levels of frequencies they're saying that they heal this, they heal that. It's like a science, and it will actually heal our bodies of different things. I don't know, depression, or relationship issues, or your fear of financial stuff. Fears, all kinds of different things. You just get on the right frequency, and this helps you. So that's another thing that's become available in the last years that people are taking into consideration, as well as meditation. You know?
Yes, yes, that is very powerful to listen to those hurts, because specifically, like the people in Hollywood, they made songs that were just below that hurt so that we wouldn't get those healing properties. So now people are aware of the information that these hurts are so powerful, whether you're just listening to them in the car or you're meditating with them, they truly do heal you. I'll listen to like 432 hertz, and I feel so grounded when I listen to that, because we are vibrational beings. We are just vibrating very, very quickly. We appear solid, but those tones have impact on our cells in our body.
It's interesting, Ireland. This is the time of awakening. I know it is. We had a guy named Billy Phillips on our show, and he was saying, when was it, Angela, that information got passed on to him? Was that 2000? When that
Yes, exactly right, Dan. It was
it,
the night of 1999, in midnight. He was passed off this information and started the 2000 era. And yeah.
and it's blowing all the doors off of everything. So even in Kabbalah, there's a huge, massive awakening that's going on
Yes.
within there. And it's spreading, Ireland, like you said, it's spreading all around the world. And you mentioned Jesus too, Ireland. That what was Jesus' mission? How did his mission apply to us today? What was he doing in relation to what you're trying to tell us?
Yes, so he was repairing the Giza and the Stonehenge Stargate. So he did a timeline repair, and that is where all of the information came from the Bible. But again, the negative alien agenda distorted all of that and made it so we got the wrong information and interpreted it wrong in the programming, so that we wouldn't get what was actually coming from Jesus, since he was such a powerful being. He was an ascended master. And so he was setting us up for this timeline for 2012 Ascension time. So he was a very important factor. And it's just great that we're starting to realize the real teachings behind Jesus Christ, what
Well,
he really was trying to say.
yeah, and I've been reading the Aquarian Gospels. Oh, I'm just like blown away by what's in there. And that was this guy named Levi, who was allowed by God to go and take a look at his Book of Remembrance, which is also known as the Akashic Records. And he was allowed to take out of there, I think, what he wanted, but he took out at least all the life of Jesus from his birth on, and then on into his ministry. And wow, I'm freaked out because, like, the New Testament part of it is like there's these all kinds of chunks of missing information, is as if somebody just went and blacked it out. It's not like the Bible's wrong, just that there's missing stuff, important stuff,
Exactly.
and I'm freaking out about that. And it's actually been a book available since 1908. Like, what the heck? But I guess we weren't willing to look at it. But I'm just like, wow.
Right.
And then it's all making sense. It's all fitting with the near-death experiences and what they've been saying to us. It fits. It's all there in the Aquarian Gospels, right straight from God's personal book of remembrance of everything that's been going on. And we just are not been willing to look at it. So, wow.
Exactly.
What does it mean, Ireland? The kingdom of God is within and at hand. That was one of Jesus's major messages, but it's hardly talked about in the churches. Do you have an idea what that means? The kingdom of God is within and at hand?
Yes, it's truly all internal. Like the reality that we experience, that we see with our senses, is coming from within our mind. And that is why we have been programmed within our subconscious, because they know that we are so powerful that we can move mountains. We can change the external from within ourselves. That's how Jesus performed all those magical things, is because he realized that the power, the kingdom of God, was within him. And we have that same power. You know, it's the law of attraction. It's the fact of your personality creates your personal reality. That is what Dr. Joe Dispenza says. So who you think you are with your belief systems is what is creating the events that are unfolding in your life.
Yeah.
So the more you change yourself, you know.
Well, Jesus said that these and greater things you will do. That do not marvel at these things, he said, for these and greaters you will do. Dan, we need to take a break, don't we?
All right. Yes, we do. So when we come back, I want to ask Erin how we deal with ourselves through all of this transformation. So we're going to have to take a commercial break, but when we come back, we'll continue our discussion tonight with our special guest, Ireland Clark, and you can contact her by emailing her at irelandclark@aol.com or check out her YouTube channel, Limitless Lightworker.
And you're listening to Heart to Heart Radio Show with Dan and Ann on the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. For more information about Heart to Heart Radio Show, visit heart2heartradioshow.com. And we'll be right back.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
Christopher Fulton is a survivor of the national security state. All he wanted to do was preserve history when he acquired a Cartier watch from the estate of President Kennedy's personal secretary. But that simple act set off a terrible chain reaction. He was pursued by the U.S. Justice Department and the FBI, thrust into the middle of the U.S. government's Assassination Records Review Board, even monitored and pursued by the Russian government. All because that Cartier watch was the missing link of evidence, a timepiece worn by JFK that fateful day in Dallas, a link resulting in Christopher being incarcerated and attacked for 9 years because he opened a hidden chapter in history. The intriguing journey outlined fully in Christopher Fulton's memoir, The Inheritance, is available now through TrineDay.com or Amazon.com. The Inheritance, Poisoned Fruit of JFK's Assassination by Christopher and Michelle Fulton is a must-read, an incredible tale of how easily our own government can overrule justice. The Inheritance, Poisoned Fruit of JFK's Assassination.
All right, we're back. You're listening to Heart Radio Show with Dan and Ann. Our guest this hour is Ireland Clark, and the name of our topic this evening has been True Christianity is Overcoming the Ego. And Ireland, I just wanted to throw out another question to you. We were talking about, Jesus and his mission here and what he was trying to tell us. Could you just break that down a little bit more? You said he came in to interfere with this negative energy. Would the negative energy be in the way of the programmed people that were trying to transmit another message to us, like the priest and all that? Was that what Jesus was doing, was coming in to try to interfere with that and tell us the truth about who we were?
Yes, exactly. So he was trying to change the frequency and to get people out of that severe programming, because during that time it was very, very occult. It was very fear-based. When you look back to when Jesus was alive and then you see this sort of energy he was bringing in, so he was truly trying to change the frequency during that time to get us prepared for the ascension now. If he would have never came, we wouldn't even be where we are at now in the ascension journey. So we wouldn't be on this awakening path without what he did. So he was a very important part in this.
He changed
Ireland,
the world. Yep.
I got a question. So like after he died, okay, so he brought that vibration, he brought that truth, he brought that light. Did everything change, fairly quickly after? I mean, Christians would think that then he really changed everything while he was on earth, and then it went downhill again, and now we're somebody's trying to help us to get back again before Jesus comes back. I mean, but that's not how it is it?
Right. Well, I feel like it all happened the way it was meant to happen, because yes, we were delusionized by the teachings of Jesus since they left out parts and they made it so different than what it actually was. And that's how it manifested into all the different religions. But now we look back on Jesus on this awakening ascension journey and we see the truth behind it. Now we have the information of what he was truly saying. Like, you go on YouTube now and you can look up the real teachings of Jesus Christ. So he did make a difference. We just still had to get a little bit more through that programming and releasing and integrating those lower vibrations to get to this higher point now.
And we're feeling the impact of it now. And I wanted to ask ask this, Ireland. So we're all in transformation. We all, know our dark side, and we also know we got a good side, but unfortunately, we all have to deal with our dark side. We all have to deal with our missing the mark. How do we do that? Because, the reason I'm saying that is, we are all working toward being more enlightened, more awake, more like Christ, however you want to say it. But how do we deal with it when we fall back and we feel like, was it all for nothing? What do we do with that?
Right. So we just need to be aware of the information. Awareness is everything. That is taking your power back, is living in your awareness and knowing that this subconscious pre-programming is not who you are. You are a God sovereign free being, and it's time to take your power back. And through this process, yes, you're going to see the programming come through. You're going to see those shadow aspects, but you just have to keep dissolving them, keep replacing that fear with love. And over time, that programming will dissolve in the light that you created for that space. So it's really just about practicing the law of one, because even on this spiritual awakening journey, you have to make sure you don't get in the ego with thinking that you're above everybody for knowing this information. You have to see that we're all here and integrating at different levels, and just be a compassionate observer. Stay detached from outcomes, be compassionate, nurture yourself, love yourself unconditionally, and then you can love others unconditionally. Be of service, ask how you can be of service and be a vessel for
that's good.
God. That is what Tony Robbins says every day before he gets on stage. How can I be a vessel? And, just wake up and feel that love. I know you guys say that you try to wake up and be full of that love every morning, and that definitely helps to reprogram yourself.
Well, that's the thing, is that we all have to realize this. The Bible clearly talks about what is of God and what is not of God, like jealousy and envy and strife and, just sexual, even sexual immorality. I mean, all these things that are they're bodily desires that are fleshly. And then there's the other law, which is the law of love, which is got joy, peace, patience, kindness, self-control. You can hardly notice when others do it wrong. They're long suffering. We don't rejoice when others are doing it wrong. It's just a whole nother way of being. So I think it's real easy if we're not living that. But then we're living according to the flesh. So then when you catch yourself living according to the flesh, which is, jealousy or frustration or anger or bitterness or whatever it is going on, you're like, okay, I surrender that to you, Lord. And you get into prayer or meditation and asking God to change you. And and he does, he's changing me crazy fast again. That happened to me a long time ago where I went down that road and he changed me. But then I got back into sin accidentally and down a wrong road. And then now I'm having to come back from the dead, if you know what I mean. But he's changing me again, and it's starting to happen faster and faster. And I'm starting to get where I can't even stand to have that other kind of self. When I notice it, I'm like, oh, yuck. And I have to get it right. I have to apologize to that person. I've got to get it right. Like I've got to cleanse it. And I feel like God is doing that. And people would just do those simple things. It's really easy. What is love? And duh, we know how to treat each other. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. And then and the other side is, of course, we shouldn't be jealous. Of course, we shouldn't be hateful. Of course, we shouldn't be frustrated, anger, bitter, resentful. All that is not of God. And that's what causes the
Those
ego
are all
self.
low vibrations that'll keep you in the 3D. And you're never going to be able to become who you are. And that's just the ego. That's the reptilian mind. That's not who you are. Your body is a temple and you reside in that temple. So you have to take care of your physical body by, stretching. Yoga really helps to bring your mind into the present moment and to train your actual muscle mind in meditation to become the observer. Because once you're the observer, when the programming starts coming in, like, the automatic response to situations in the external, you'll be able to just observe the thoughts coming in and disassociate yourself from the programming and realize, okay, that's not who I am. I'm not going to choose to react anymore. And you go into non-reactionary mode. And then those things aren't controlling your reality anymore, because that's what happens is we have this programming, we react to it, and then it manifests into the external. And then we wonder why the external is causing all this chaos in our lives when it's us truly reacting.
Well, here it is in 1 Corinthians 6:19. It says, your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God. You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. And then John 14:16. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another helper to be with you forever. That was Jesus talking. And then, but the helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things and bring you into remembrance all that I have said to you. That's John 14:26. Both those were Jesus talking. So we have a helper too, which, Ireland, I know. And without that, I don't really think the transformation is going to get done. Do you?
Truly. No, you have to become one with God. You're not going to do it on your own. You have to conspire with yourself and with connecting to that source. And you also have a whole team of guides and angels and ascended masters that are helping assist with this process too, that are always protecting you. And you can always call upon them to help aid in this process. They have definitely helped me in my transformation.
Yeah.
And then it also, go ahead.
What I like is that, as we're going through this process, I know for me, it's been very painful. And I've fallen back so many times into so many things, but I move forward. and I move maybe 2 steps forward, 1 back. But what's weird is there seems to be an overshadowing that I'm not so hard on myself. And now I'm not so hard on others because I know everyone else is going through the same transformation as I did. And so there's grace for myself. And now that I have this grace within myself, I can extend it to others. So I just wanted to ask Ireland last couple of questions, Angela.
Okay.
So Ireland, is there any other steps we can take in this process? And I guess I just want to ask you, do you believe we can bring heaven to earth? You know?
Truly, yeah, and then it all starts within you, because if you aren't in heaven within, then you are living in a literal hell within your emotions and your experiences that you're manifesting through that. And so we just have to really balance the physical and the mental aspects of ourselves. So the physical, meaning eating simpler foods. Food is information, making sure you're not eating a bunch of processed chemicals, because that is part of the negative alien agenda that keeps us from having a clear channel to our higher selves. If we're constantly trying to digest foods that aren't meant for our bodies. So we have to make sure we're eating good foods that are healthy and taking care of our mental aspects as well. So meditating, you don't need to be meditating like hours at a time. Really just try to meditate in the morning and at night, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and you will see miraculous changes in how you can see the difference between who you really are and the programming, and be the observer of the thoughts coming in.
What happens?
That's really all you need.
What happens, Ireland, when this spirit gets a hold of us? When this Christos, this Christ, when it embodies us, what happens? We got just 10 seconds.
Yes, you are just fully in the present. You're fully aware of your power. You are light for others because they are able to feel the power and the light coming from you. You change not only yourself through unconditional love, and you change others through unconditional love for them as well.
Thank you, Ireland. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up tonight. Ireland, thank you so much. We've enjoyed our discussion with you. And thanks for being with us. For more information about Ireland Clark, you can email her at irelandclark@aol.com, or you can check out our YouTube channel at Limitless Lightworker.
We'll be back next week with another edition of Heart to Heart Radio Show with Dan and Ann. And to find out when our show can be heard on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit www.xzbn.net. For more information about Heart to Heart Radio Show, visit heart2heartradioshow.com or check out our personal website, prodigaljourneys.com. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie, natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.